Hello everyone, SY back here with another video. So today, I have episode 2 of the Wacky Adventures of Solomon. Or SY, whatever you want to call me. So, episode 2, the Heflingers. So, basically, we used to have this teacher at a school named Mr. Heflinger. And I go to a Christian school. So they preach the gospel. Nothing wrong with that, not at all. But Mr. Heflinger, he was one of those old school Christians. And so while I never had him as an actual teacher, I had him as a youth group teacher, And so we would group up, each grade, every other Friday, we would group up and go to a certain teacher and have our small groups. And so Mr. Heflinger, when he would teach us about the gospel, he would just nonstop guilt trip us. He would always slam on our generation. He would always tell us how we don't take anything seriously. He would say stuff like how men back in the 1940s were out in the battlefield fighting during World War II, and us nowadays, we're too busy listening to Skibbity Got Riz, Toilet, Freddy Fazbear, all that stuff. And it's I get his point, but it's just it's kind of disrespectful, to be honest with you. And another thing about Heflinger is that he crashed out on a student one time in my class because the kid asked him for another zebra cake. Because we were all eating, because he passed out snacks. And we were all eating the zebra cakes and we finished. And so he was busy talking about the gospel. Then once he finished and walked back to his desk, Pierre, another kid in my class, he just randomly asked, "Hey, Mr. Heflinger, can I have another zebra cake?" Heflinger stops and looks at him for about 10 to 15 seconds while there's just pure silence. He just stands there menacingly and looks deep into his soul. And then out of nowhere, he aggressively walks to the front of the classroom saying, I noticed something about your generation. You guys make the biggest deal out of the smallest things. Then, after Heflinger said that, he grabs the zebra cake and he just throws it at Pierre. He's just like, "Here, take it. And then he just literally, he draws a whole diagram, a whole circle diagram on the whiteboard, and talking about our outside surroundings and life and our friends and family. This all started from a zebra cake, just so you know. Yeah. And also another thing about Heflinger, he would always tell us all of these dark, crazy backstories in his life. There was this one time he said he had to sleep in a box one time. And while it's not funny, the way that he said it made us kind of chuckle a little bit. I know it's messed up for us to do that, but you would have to hear the way he said it. He said it somehow like this: "As I crawled into a box." And it was just over at that moment. So basically, he kept telling all these crazy stories. He told us a story one time about how a kid died in his arms. He told another story about how he passed out in the kitchen. His dog laid right next to him. And it's while the stories aren't funny, the stories kept progressively getting worse and worse, which made you kind of chuckle a little bit because you would never really expect that. And one time Pierre was laughing. He was trying hard not to, but he was laughing. And so Mr. Heflinger just looks at him and he's just like, "Pierre, you're going to die one day. And you're going to stand before the Lord Jesus Christ. And he's either going to say to you, 'Good job, my good and faithful servant,' or 'Depart from me, I never knew you.' The choice is yours." We were all silent after that. I mean, we were still kind of laughing, but, We tried to lock in after that. So then later on, Mr. Heffinger gets out like a box of chips and he pulls out like a switchblade or something and starts cutting open the box. And then and as he pulls out the switchblade and cuts open, we all just look at Pierre, talking about, bro, he's gonna come for you, bro. He's coming for you. But anyway, it was just, yeah, man. That man was unhinged. He was pretty unhinged. He was pretty unhinged. But he's retired now. I hope he's doing better now. Because I know he hated working for the school. But I really do hope he's doing better now. But it's crazy, man. It was crazy. And also, he would even show us these like Christian videos like that just completely just slammed on Gen Z and Gen Alpha. He showed us a Christian music video about this dude like letting all of these random people in his car. Like this, it was this very cringy music video of like this random dude he just kept letting all these people in his car. He even let a homeless woman in his car in one part of the video and even gave her money. And then once the video turned out, Mr. Heffing was like, he probably took the cash back. He probably took it back after the video was done. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, so that would mark the end of episode 2 of the Wacky Adventures of Solomon, or S5. You know what I'm saying? You don't? Okay. Well, anyway, go ahead and like and subscribe if you want to. Share this video. Get these stories out there. I'm also into animation, so maybe like once these stories get big, I could probably turn it into an animation. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's the end. Bye. You're gonna die one day. What are we doing?